Yes, I do realize everyone and their mothers has already done this video, but I'm a sheep, so let's do it, baby. Hello friends, hi. My name is Mia and this is My Virtual Vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. And in the spirit of that criticism, I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't read for shit even at this distance. So maybe I can. I think I can do this without the glasses. It's gonna be awkward, but I can do it. To react to your hot makeup, beauty guru, and beauty industry takes. I know everybody's done this. I don't care. I like listening to myself talk, so let's get started. There's a friend of mine on Twitter who had a lot to say. She's the sweetest, but she's a spitfire. So let me just try to condense this a bit. So for starters, how hypocritical it all is. It's so tiring that people change their minds anytime someone more popular than them does. For example, we have to credit certain looks, but some looks are 100% fine not to credit depending on the person. Or if some popular Twitter personality attacks someone, that means everybody should attack that person also. I'm tired of it not being about makeup, it's just scandals and drama, and I'm tired. Or the random spark of PR popularity since this year, and then everybody feels like they should have. If you have numbers, you should be on PR, or your only value is PR. Like, so many people gloat and prance about being on PR, and that's fine, but that doesn't truly mean anything. It seems to be more about clout, PR, brand deals, and bragging of your value according to PR, and not the genuine love for the way we make our faces. So I paraphrased certain parts from what she said and completely quoted other parts, but that was basically the gist of it. And I do feel she hit some very important nails on the head, particularly related to the Twitter community, which is more prone to drama since everything is, text-based. So people get into arguments with each other all of the time, and I do feel that it is very, very cliquey, but nobody wants to admit it. Like, nobody wants to admit how quickly they turn into attack dogs if their fave Twitter bigger personality attacks a smaller influencer. And everybody has this whole drama about crediting such and such, but some looks don't need to be credited because because that person just isn't dramatic about it, or doesn't directly ask about it, or they're not big enough. I do feel that there is some huge hypocrisy going on the Twitter world, on the Twitter part of this year, that's not present on YouTube or Instagram, simply because you don't share your every thought with the world. One person says, I don't think matching foundation to your body is necessarily the best for everyone. I do agree with this, mainly because everybody dresses differently and everybody has different activity levels. If you're the type of person like me that wears a lot of cardigans, I'm insecure about my arms, so I do wear a lot of long sleeves, even in the summer. My arms will be always lighter than my hands and my face and chest, so matching to my body would make me look like a jigsaw piece. In the end, you shouldn't take anything that anyone says as gospel, be it, match to your neck, match to your face, match to your foot, match to your whatever. Try and figure out by yourself which type of matching makes you feel the most comfortable and like a whole human being, and not like someone ran out of paint trying to paint your skin tone in certain areas. Somebody else says, just because a product doesn't work for one person doesn't mean it's a trash product. Sometimes the product doesn't work because of skin type or undertone or personal preference. That is very true, and I feel a lot of bigger beauty gurus forget about this in the spirit of drama and being sassy and calling this one product trash or whatever. I feel that products perform so differently depending on what we want from them, on what our skin type is, what our makeup preferences are. But basically, there's a lot of products that works well for people that want this type of look but don't like this type of look. And then there's also a lot of beauty gurus that, they review a tinted moisturizer and then they pile it on and pile it on and pile it on to get more coverage. And I'm like, of course you look cakey, you dumb bitch. You put 100 layers of it. It's a tinted moisturizer. That's not how you apply it. I think part of being a considerate YouTuber and creator is being mindful of these differences and reviewing accordingly, but also being honest with your audience and say, you know what guys, I like full coverage. I'm going to give my best shot at this tinted moisturizer, but my review is probably going to be flawed, or I may not know the best application method. Stuff like that. Another person says that brands releasing a new collection every week is just the inevitable next step in our fast fashion model, Instagram-driven, late capitalist hell world. Okay, I love this turn of phrase. I'm keeping this in mind. And I don't know how anyone is surprised by it. Oh my god, it's like they're hungry for money. Yeah, they're literally a brand. 100% agree. As much as I would not like this, and as much as I also complain about the same thing, the problem is that people feel a certain type of pressure to keep up with every release, and I feel brands are not catering anymore to the average consumer. So, you know, your cousin or your mom that's just strolling around in Sephora swatching something pretty. I think they're trying to cater to the Instagram audience, and that bubble is soon going to burst. But I don't feel that this is like an unpopular opinion. I feel that everybody is whining, but we are all aware that this is the inevitable course that we're just inexorably going to crash into and burn. However, I do feel that on Twitter there's this huge obsession with PR that nobody wants to acknowledge. Like, God forbid you would tell someone to stop obsessing over PR and how much they value their work regarding if they get PR or not, because you will get attacked. You will get called unambitious, you will get called untalented, you will get called just like you're trying to drag someone down, when in essence you're telling that person, listen, you're talented enough even if you don't get ABH PR. That PR doesn't mean anything. Your talent is standalone. God forbid you told people that in those words, because they will tell you that you are unambitious and trying to tear people down. So yeah, it's an opinion that I share, but God forbid you ever shared that on Twitter, because you'll get dragged. How does anyone wear foundation without getting it on their clothes, especially blended down the neck? I don't know. I personally dress before makeup because I do my makeup depending on the clothes that I want to wear that day. So I'm not sure what kind of cane witchcraft everybody's practicing. Or maybe they'll all wearing, you know, stuff with like color like this. Like if I want to change my top or something, I don't drag it like arms first. I'll just expand the neckline, make the neckline go over my head, avoiding the face area. So rather the end of the thing just touches the back of my head rather than my face. And somehow I managed to avoid it. But for example, if I want to go shopping for tops, I don't wear foundation just to avoid getting tops dirty, because I hate seeing something on the rack with streaks of foundation on it. It's ugly. Pressed glitters are Satan and should never be included in eyeshadow palettes. You're right. And people love them. The problem is that they are not eye safe. I agree, but I'm not gonna practice what I preach because I never had a great sense of self-preservation, and I've got less common sense than love for sparkle. But yes, I do feel that it's disingenuous, especially of Colourpop, to include these glitters and not say in big, fat fucking words, not eye safe, could scratch your eye, could lead to blindness. Because some people are truly careless about how they apply glitter to their eyes, and it just gives me a mini stroke every time I see it. Someone else says, commentary content is furthering the marketing goals of makeup companies even when the commentary is negative. I agree, but I'll still make commentary content because it's fun. But it is true, I feel that even if companies get bad press, it's still press, it's still added visibility, and the more we talk about their shit, the more we give them visibility. But then again, we also can't use the excuse of, oh, I just don't want to give them visibility, or I don't want to be negative to not discuss things. Because I feel discussion between consumer and brands and consumers and consumers is an integral part of a good market and a free market. And even though we may give brands visibility, we still provide valuable opinions and information, or not, depending on the person, but whatever. So there was another comment that I forgot to read, and I'm so mad at myself for forgetting because I had a whole commentary that I needed to do on it. So the comment goes as, I'm sick and tired of makeup being so political. I just want it to be fun. You know, I think there is a very complicated discussion and a whole video I should do separately, but I feel that not considering makeup political is a privilege. But I also think that it's a privilege that some people should be allowed to exercise in peace, because in the end, you don't know what that person is doing in their home life. You don't know what that person is doing in your life. So, you know, they may be buying Jeffree Star or Lime Crime or whatever, but you don't know the good that they do in the rest of the world. In the end, makeup is such a small facet of how we interact with the world and what we can do for it. So even if I myself am very, very vocal about not supporting these people, and here is why, and here is what happened, and so on, I try not to nag my friends that do buy these products, because you know, I don't know what they do otherwise. Like, makeup is makeup. There are so many other ways you could be a kind person, and there are so many other avenues where you can practice social justice in your life, that in the end, if you don't want to engage in makeup cancel culture, in the grand scheme of things, I wanted to be more eloquent about it, but as I said, I feel this is a whole video. In the grand scheme of things, this is not the only thing you can do, and this is not a mark of your character or of your quality as a human being. I feel just buying this or such product shouldn't be enough to tell me, oh, this person is shit or this person is whatever. I feel that we should all base our judgments of such and such person not only if they use a product from whatever canceled brand, but on who they are as a human being as a whole. And yeah, I hope I wasn't too incoherent, but you get it. Video coming soon. Someone says, neutral palettes are actually pretty well done in a way that it shows up on medium dark skin eyelids. You know, that's true. I feel that neutral palettes can be well done, no matter if they're more ashy and catered to a whiter skin tone, or if they're neutral palettes that are done very well and are very inclusive. I feel that there's boring neutral palettes and interesting neutral palettes, much like you have boring colorful palettes and interesting colorful palettes, and just dismissing a neutral palette as boring just because it's neutral is a bit narrow-minded and a bit narrow in relation to how you view makeup and the aesthetics of makeup. I mean, it's a choice, but it's not a choice I particularly agree with. But I do agree that neutral palettes that are more inclusive are superior, because they also tend to be the most interesting in tone variation, saturation variation, pigment variation. Neutral palettes that tend to be on the more ashy and light side often lack the depth and variation of color that makes for an interesting neutral palette. The Instagram baddie glam, full coverage, cut crease, fake lash, huge lips is getting old. Agreed, and I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I feel that this whole look is still being practiced by Instagram baddies, but overall I feel 3/4 of consumers and content creators are starting to gear towards more editorial looks, less full coverage. Morphe kinda sucks. They're not worth the hype. I do agree Morphe sucks. Morphe is great starter makeup, but they certainly don't deserve the hype they get, and I do believe that the hype is caused mainly by the fact that everybody gets money by shilling them if they have the code. I think people who buy every palette from a brand or a collection buy a lot in general and justify it by saying, I'm a collector, I collect whatever brand's palettes, are in denial of their unhealthy shopping habits and are making bullshit mind gymnastics to justify it. Very true. And I do hear this excuse all over YouTube. I think that there was a sentence that I read in a Reddit thread that resonated with me. I think those people think they are makeup hobbyists when in fact the hobby is buying and consuming a certain type of product, as opposed to what you can do with that product itself as far as makeup goes. And I do feel collecting perishables, so items that expire, is a bit silly. In the end, everybody's free to do what they want with their money. They're free to buy things just for the joy that having all of whatever in a series brings them. But I do feel that excusing it just as a collector mentality is unhealthy to your budget and your wallet sometimes. As I said, people can do whatever they want with their money, but it's a bit when YouTubers use that phrase, at least in my head. Mascara looks better than false lashes do. Yes, thank you, exactly. I am sick of seeing beautiful looks covered by spider tier lashes. Like, I get maybe, you know, a subtle fake lash here and there to add a bit of depth, whatever, but some of them literally look like Persian rugs on your eyes. I've got a deep-seated hatred for huge lashes that don't allow the eye look to shine through. And it is a very unpopular opinion because everybody and their mom uses fake lashes. And like, it's your choice. Makeup should be what you make of it. If fake lashes make you happy, by God, wear them. Fuck me, in my opinion. Nose tip highlight looks bad on white people who indiscriminately copy people of color's makeup technique without understanding why it was done. Same as nose contouring. Those techniques were started and popularized by black and other non-white makeup lovers who have squat noses, broad noses, no nose bridge, flared nostrils, etc., aka a non-Eurocentric nose. This is not an opinion, it's fact. I had absolutely no idea, and thank you for educating me. I honestly did not know. I thought nose highlight was more inspired rather by like anime or cartoon aesthetics. I had no idea it was popularized by people of color, and I'm really thankful for this comment because it added a layer of context to a certain trend that I did not have before. A lot of YouTubers use quirky editing to try to mask that they can't edit very well. Not being able to edit well really isn't a problem, especially if YouTube isn't your job, but random unnecessary crash zooms and close-ups are. Same person says, not looking up the pronunciation of shade names product is a bit lazy. Fair play if one takes you unaware or if it's an obscure language. But if it's something like a Paris theme palette full of French words, just spend 10 minutes on Google Translate. It's better to try and fail than not make any effort at all. On the first point, yes and no. I think people that don't edit well most of the time are not aware that they can't edit well. And I do feel that they just use those things like the zooms and the effects and whatever just because it's fun. I don't think they're like, oh, you know, I'm trying to mask poor ability by using zooms. I think they just like it. And the second one, I 100% agree. I don't understand why big beauty gurus don't get shit for it. Make an effort. Fucking Google it. It's your job. Like, I get maybe an amateur, YouTube isn't their job. As you said, it takes them unawares. But like, if you are a big beauty guru and you get PR from these brands, the least amount of respect you can show is knowing how to pronounce that shit. Camera keeps dying on me, so sorry if things keep like changing. Next one, it's difficult to understand what the broader beauty community prefers in terms of content because the people engaging in commentary are a vocal minority. Although you can always be sure that discussion on drama topics will always do well because people seem to eat that up. It's true. I feel that there is little overlap between actual viewership numbers and people that comment. So, for example, people say, oh, watchers are requesting tutorials, but nobody's watching it. The problem is that out of your subscribers, let's say 10% comment. Out of those 10% that comment, let's say 5% want tutorials. So that only leaves you with a handful of people that keep demanding tutorials. So you do feel that this is wanted because those people are vocal. Most of the people that watch, they don't comment. So they could go either or. I hope I made myself understood. I feel that there's like a Venn diagram going on there, and that the vocal minority says one thing, but the actual viewership numbers indicate the truth as to what exactly your full audience likes to watch as a whole. A lot of people are switching or starting their channel to review high-end luxury makeup for clout. They have no grasp on reality regarding price point and quality to recommend anything to anyone who doesn't live like them. You know, it's true, but you know, I don't think everything has to be for us or for everybody. I do feel that niche channels are needed. I feel that luxury review channels are needed. So just like, you know, drugstore channels are needed. Everything has its place. Every niche has its core audience, and you know, they can in the end they can review whatever they want. Like, I don't mind. I'm just not gonna watch. What are your thoughts on makeup creators using filters on Instagram in their pictures and stories? It turns me off their brand. I want to see their unfiltered face with makeup on or off when they post stories. The problem is the following. Everybody does it, and if you don't do it, you don't look polished enough. There is a certain couple of creators, like an actual couple, two people in love, and one of the guys started editing his boyfriend's photos to the point where you can tell it's so heavily edited. But ever since they started doing that, the boyfriend started getting more and more brand opportunities. So I do feel that it's not lucrative for influencers to not stay photoshopped and not stay facetuned, because brands are actually asking for this unrealistic standard. The vicious circle of brands asking for it, influencers keep doing it because everybody else keeps doing it. Consumers and viewers actually want unfiltered photos, but the unfiltered photos don't do as well. Everybody wants to see someone pretty, something beautiful, someone that is possibly aspirational. I don't feel that many people want to see the actual flaws and pores and acne and texture and everything else, because then the mystique of if I've got this product or if I've got this skill, then I could be as flawless disappears, and then your wish to follow that person for recommendations and to buy the products they promote goes away a bit, because that promise of perfection is no longer in your grasp, and you realize that no matter what you buy or what you put on your face, there's never going to be a one-stop solution, and that's bad for business. Buying new lipstick is way more fun than buying a new eyeshadow palette. Disagree, but you do what makes you happy, you know? Last one. Mine are all related to the contrived nature of social media content versus real life. Studio and pro style lighting seriously distorts the color and finish of most makeup products. It makes creators look better, but is fundamentally misleading for viewers who won't be on camera themselves. Many influencers use substantially more makeup to look good under the lights than most people would want or need. Most false lashes look ridiculous in real life. I support someone's right to wear them regardless, but the grocery store is not social media. You know, I agree. I also noticed the difference in the makeup I do for the camera versus for real life. Like, the eye looks mostly stay the same if I have time in the morning, but the face makeup is definitely more permissive. Like, I can use some powders that make me look a bit cakey in real life because the camera won't pick it up, so I can use a bit of that product up. I can use foundations that are not exact shade matches because the camera light just makes my face look a bit different. Moreover, I feel that blemishes, scars, flaws in general under the camera light are not as evident as they are in real life. I do feel that the camera lights do make wearing more makeup or wear makeup that doesn't 100% look bright in real life actually work. agreed, but most people will never admit that, especially big beauty YouTubers, because admitting that cuts in their bottom line, because then you won't buy what they recommend. Ditto with the false lashes. You all know I'm not a fan of falsies. Like, I will support your right to wear whatever the fuck you want. I will fight anyone that dares to say anything about your lashes in public if you're feeling them, but I personally am not for that aesthetic. Done. I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, I'm so sorry. Tell me I suck in the comments. I did not do it intentionally. Thank you guys so much for sharing with me your unpopular opinions. If there are any other people that want to share their unpopular opinions or reaction to these, leave a comment down below. I love every single one of these comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, second breakfast, whatever it is where you're from. Bye!